Alrighty then, let's go ahead and get into the stream. Well, let's all. Oh, hey, actually, we should be good. I've forgotten the commands because they're new. And give me 1 second. Where's the intro? Intro. That's what it is. Sorry. Something that I'm getting into for this, because then we can go ahead and mostly just jump straight into the stream. Hope everybody's doing well, though. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's been a good day for me so far. Oh, I got to adjust the OBS here slightly. Give me 1 second. Log above. Alert above. There we go. Okay, that should be good now. Okay, so yeah. Before we do go ahead and jump into the longest journey, let's get to the daily readings, and then we'll get resume, honestly, because it's been a little bit of time. I think it's been 2 weeks, because last week I just didn't get started in time. And then the week before I was helping somebody move. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. Yeah, just took me a second to remember that, honestly. Okay. Yes, these are the readings for February 5th, 2023. It is for the 5th Sunday in Ordinary Time. The first reading for today is from Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 7 through 10. Thus says the Lord, share your bread with the hungry, shelter the oppressed and the homeless, clothe the naked when you see them. Do not turn your back on your own. Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your wounds shall quickly be healed. Your vindication shall go before you, and the glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry for help, and he will say, here I am. You remove from your midst oppression, false accusation, and malicious speech. You bestow your bread on the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted. Then light shall rise for you in the darkness, and the gloom shall become for you like midday. The psalm for today is Psalm 112. The just man is a light, and darkness to the upright. Light shines through the darkness for the upright. He is gracious and merciful and just. Well for the man who is gracious and lends, who conducts his affairs with justice. The just man is a light and darkness to the upright. He shall never be moved. The just one shall be in everlasting remembrance. An evil report he shall not fear. His heart is firm, trust in the Lord. The just man is a light and darkness to the upright. His heart is steadfast. He shall not fear. Lavishly he gives to the poor. His justice shall endure forever. His horn shall be exalted in glory. The just man is a light and darkness to the upright. The second reading for today is from 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 1 through 5. When I came to you, brothers and sisters, proclaiming the mystery of God, I did not come with sublimity of words or of wisdom. For I resolved to know nothing while I was with you, except Jesus Christ and him crucified. I came to you in weakness and fear and much trembling. My message and my proclamation were not with persuasive words of wisdom, but with a demonstration of spirit and power, so that your faith might rest not on human wisdom, but on the power of God. Alleluia, alleluia. I am the light of the world, says the Lord. Whoever follows me will have the gift of life, have the light of life. Alleluia, alleluia. The gospel for today is from Matthew chapter 5, verse 13 through 16. Jesus said to his disciples, you are the salt of the earth, but if salt loses its taste, with what can it be seasoned? It is no longer good for anything, but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A city set on a mountain cannot be hidden, nor they light a lamp and then put it under a bushel basket. It is set on a lampstand, where it gives light to all in the house. Just so your light must shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your heavenly Father. The gospel of the Lord. Praise be to you, Lord Jesus Christ. In the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Alright, and with that, let's go ahead and jump into the longest journey. Hey Star, how are you? Hope you're doing well. How was your, how was Mass for you today is what I'm trying to say. I'm just not saying it very well. And how was your day as well? Chapter 2, no, we were in chapter 3. No, I don't think we were in chapter, I think we were in chapter 4. As I say, I think, yep, we were right there. Okay.
Square jaw and broad shoulder.
Okay, already
I wonder if
talked
she's
about the farm
caught
boy. I think we talked about you already, so we need to go to the city. Okay, just a bit drowsy with the pizza. Why was Mass weird today? I'm curious. you want to talk about it, I'm not going to force you to, but... Okay, so the City Green, Marketplace, Journeyman Inn. Go back to here for the time being. Because there's two things I'd like to do.
No, I can't hold down strong liquor. It's
I
a
just had
brown, slightly cloudy liquor.
No, how many did they just play a video from the Cardinal and had some guest speaker lady talk about? Oh, they had some guest speaker lady talk about. That part is a little... Yeah, that is actually a little weird, because I was going to say, for homily, you're not supposed to have anybody like that give a homily. Even a video like that is a little bit weird. Whenever my parish has something like that, or I guess my diocese, we typically do it before Mass, because during Mass you're supposed to have the homily. I know sometimes that they'll go ahead and have the, this is why we're raising money, it's for the priest fund, etc., which was like, okay, fair enough. I still think that should be before Mass as well, but...
That'd be just rude.
Be funny, though.
Hi there, Mr. Westhouse. I'm back.
My
Yeah,
word.
it's still a little bit weird, though, Star.
What on earth possessed you to return to this godforsaken place? You were lucky to escape the first time, but now you're really pushing it.
It's
Hopefully
not
everything looks
that
fine and
bad
you
a
can hear
place,
everything,
or
by the
else
way.
you wouldn't stay here. Besides, this time I didn't exactly come here by choice.
I stay here
technically, this
because
time
I'm
you
a
did come
true
here by choice.
masochist, Miss Ryan. And who forced you to come? Was it Cortez?
He doesn't even know I'm
Kinda.
here, unfortunately. No, I think I had some kind of accident with my so-called powers. I shifted in my underwear.
No, ha! Isn't that the way it is, though? We always cross the rift at the most inopportune times.
The VA work is really good, honestly.
Care for
I
a
do really
drink?
happen to appreciate
Oh,
it,
no,
especially
no,
for a game
sorry,
that's, you know,
you,
20 years ago.
don't.
20 years old.
Would you mind helping me with a few questions?
I've nothing better to do, so shoot.
Do you know anything about dragons?
I try to
Gardens.
stay out of the affairs of the kin these days. What precisely do you wish to know about the damn beasts?
There are two
Well, I know
dragons
why
in
these
Arcadia,
days.
and I'm trying to locate them.
Yeah, I've heard that tale myself, but no, I don't know anything about it. You'd be
Gardens.
better off speaking with the Sentinel Minstrom. After all, religion is their specialty, not mine.
I'm looking for a disc that will open up the Guardian's realm.
This is connected. It is not Star.
religion, Miss Ryan.
That would be quite
And
an
the only
interesting
things
connection.
I
This is
worship are whiskey,
just called Arcadia.
a good
I thought about making a
cigar,
Skies Arcadia joke, honestly, in the title, but I couldn't think of a good way to tie it in.
Anyway, don't ask me about all that balance mumbo-jumbo.
Would you be able to tell me where I could look for the entrance to the Guardian's realm?
In Tobias's pants, if he had his wish, I'm sure. No, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about the Guardians, balance, sentinel, or gardening. Now, if you're interested in bullfighting, I could talk all night.
Bullfighting's a horrible act of cruelty to animals,
I'm
and
curious
not
what
much
Hiller's
of a
response will be.
sport at all.
I'll just forget you said that, Miss Ryan. If there's one thing I miss about Stark, it's bullfighting.
You'll be happy
Probably
to
not legal
hear then
anymore,
that
is it?
they abolished bullfighting hundreds of years ago.
Damn.
Happy.
I can't think of any more questions for now.
Then let's talk about other things, shall we?
Such as?
Thanks, Mr. Westhouse.
Anytime,
Don't think of anything
April.
else talking about
Come
at the
back
moment.
if you're homesick and you feel like talking to a fellow alien.
I probably will eventually. I almost am positive I remember having to come back here later. You don't think Pope Francis like bull matadors? I could honestly potentially see that. Pope Francis does seem like the kind of person that wouldn't like that. That's not meant to be derogatory, of course. It's just... I'm really not sure how I feel about bullfighting. It does kind of feel like a bad sport, I'm not gonna lie. I could see that, honestly. It's like, it does kind of feel like one of those bad sports. It's like, I would think you'd probably be okay with Pokemon if I had to take a guess.
You.
Mainly
What's going on? Why didn't you deliver any maps yesterday?
Hold on a second. Mainly just due to the fact that...
Well, there are more maps to be delivered, and my customers are getting very impatient. Did you deliver the map to the Rolling Man?
Yes, sir.
I did.
All right, let me see his signature, and I'll give you your next delivery.
Okay. Mainly just because, you know, the main thing about Pokemon is supposed to be that it's friendship. You're working together, so it's like, it's not meant to be so much like cockfighting, but it is at the same time, so it's kind of that weird territory.
Staying at the Journeyman Inn, and be quick about it. She's been waiting since the day before yesterday. Did you make your delivery to Tunlayak at the Journeyman Inn
No, I
yet?
want my gold.
I forgot all about that.
By the balance, get to it.
Alright, I'm going. I do want to come back for you, because you have Crow. Although we don't know his name at the moment. And we should be able to go ahead and, cheat him. To be fair, I know that sounds bad, but he's also a cheat. He makes it so, but technically he makes where?
Excuse me?
Yes? Oh, it is you.
Yeah. Looking for somebody.
I'm looking for a guest of yours, Tunlayak.
The sailor? She is looking for work today, I'm afraid. With most of the ships moored to the docks for balance knows how long, it is difficult for sailors to find work.
I saw that. I was gonna say it's pretty crazy. Good for him, though. I'm really proud of John.
Do you know when Tunlayak is expected back?
I just wish he'd
could
play
not
more
tell
games
you,
than
child,
Fortnite.
but from what I know of the ships in harbor,
That's not meant to sound mean to
she
him.
will
I
not
just,
find one
I
that
hate
needs a
Fortnite. I
navigator
really do.
anytime soon.
Do you know when
Hold on, I missed
Tunlayak is
that.
expected back?
I know I play
could
Fortnite.
not tell
I
you,
hope he keeps
child,
talking about
but
God
from
2
what
Star.
I know of the ships in harbor, she will not find one that needs a navigator anytime soon.
Could just go to the harbor. But yeah, I was gonna say, I do happen
Thank you,
to
ma'am.
agree, Star.
You're
I don't think we have to
welcome,
worry about John. It does seem like he will go ahead and keep with the faith, because he does seem to be very faithful. I only say seem because I've never talked to him in person. So it's not like I can directly know that, but it seems like he... What is that? What is that? What is that? It's Dobby! Somebody give him a sock! His pixels are... He's terrifying, honestly. Like, most things in this game I'm not too terrified by, but that, for some reason, just was terrifying. Yes, I also hope he keeps talking about God. As I said, I'd be surprised if he didn't, but... fame has gone to people's heads before. I don't think that will admittedly happen with him, but... Shadow him since he's Catholic? Yeah, they might. I mean, that's a good question. Okay, so that's ship, lighthouse, small pier, nobody to talk to, then... how many gold pieces do we even have? Oh, we do have a couple gold pieces, actually, so... Guess we don't really need gold pieces that much at the moment. Docks. I don't think that we can find the one person to deliver to at the moment. Rent merchant? Okay. Let's go get that bird. There's a couple other leads we have. Admittedly, we could just go here right now. We'll go there in a little bit. I want to get Crow. Bird! Bird, bird, bird. Bird's the word. This is an overused meme. Let's end it now. Probably save.
How about a game of cups today?
Can you tell me again what I can win?
An antique Domari canter from Guyenne, a superb cast iron replica of Mount Tyranny, a magic walnut from Anciel, and this, unique talking bird.
Thanks, but no thanks.
I should say
Suit
first.
yourself, but that attitude will never bring coin to your pocket.
I just want to say first, just to make sure I don't get this wrong. Like, I should be fine, but it's one of those moments where it's like, listen, do I think I'll be fine? I have the screwdriver? Yeah. But still. Oh. Probably. I would be surprised if they didn't, honestly. It's definitely something that'll be interesting. As I said, nothing against John. I just wish he played more games than just Fortnite.
How
I know he
about the
plays
game
like
of cups today?
a little bit of Halo, a little bit of Madden, but once again, games I'm not interested in. Which is
How do I play?
not his fault. He
You
doesn't
put
have to
your coin
play
down on
just
the
for me,
table.
but it's like,
I put
please.
the cup on top of it
I'm
and
more of a
shuffle it
variety
around
streamer.
with
I
the
like a
other two
variety of
cups.
things, which is
And
why I
all
do
you
variety.
have to do
but-
is guess which one hides your coin. And remember, no magic used, and none allowed. This amulet right here will light up if you use magic. Then you'll be banned. For life.
Okay, let's go.
Just place your bet, investment, on the table and the game will begin.
Here's my coin. Now, how do I play?
I place one cup on top of your coin like so. Then
Pardon me.
I shuffle them like so. Now, you guess which cup hides your coin. If you get it right, you win another coin, 3 in a row, and you win a prize.
It's a magnetized
Might need to-
screwdriver.
Oh, it did, okay.
Nothing happened. Hey, that cup moved. I have absolutely no idea. So I'll just take a wild guess and choose...
The movement is funny.
This one.
That's correct, but that's... You used magic, didn't you? You used your magic wand.
Didn't light up.
Ah, your amulet didn't light up, did it?
No, but it's impossible.
Magnets.
Because you
How
use
do they
magic
work?
yourself? Because nobody's supposed to ever win your game? They have a name for people like you, sir. Con artist.
What? I'm outraged. I'm outraged.
Whatever. I
bet
want
you
my
are.
prize.
Prize? You don't get a prize for winning once. Especially when you're cheating. You cheat.
You want me to call the city guard? I demand a prize.
Oh, by the gods of gambling. Here, take this and leave me be.
The calculator?
A calculator? Where did you get this?
Oh, I don't know.
I
One of
know,
some
Star,
guy who
he
got it
cheats.
from someone else who's supposedly been in stock. It's a it's a valuable souvenir from the mysterious and elusive world of logic. Now, would you please let me be? Let someone else play. Yes?
No.
It's a
Want the
talking
bird.
bird.
Okay, hold on, maybe I can just,
I want to play again.
No, not you, lady. Get your errand off my table.
I have a right to play. I didn't use magic.
You did use that magic wand there. That's magic to me.
No, it's
Hey, Milton,
science,
go off.
not magic. There's no sign that says no science allowed now, is there?
What do you want from me?
I want to
bird.
play.
Sorry, lady, that magic wand of yours will put me out of business. I'd rather close up for the day than let you play another game.
give me the bird.
It's a talking bird.
I'm not talking to you, you cheat.
Strangely
If
enough,
we have to come back for
it's an
Bird later.
old-fashioned calculator, like the ones they used back in, like, the Elizabethan times.
Yeah, Elizabethan. Talk to him real quick. He might be amused by the fact that he
Did you make
lost.
your delivery to Tunlyak at the Journeyman?
I
By the balance.
I mean,
wonder
I'm
if that's
trying.
supposed to
I
be
just can't
anybody.
find him. That's alright. We can talk to at least 2 more people. Might come back for Bird later. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we can talk to Tobias real quickly. Better run over here real quick though first, so it doesn't take half a year. That is one of the downsides. That if you're trying to talk to somebody, it's like if you click on them
morning,
once, it
Tobias.
can be a little bit hard to get them to run. Get her to run, I should say.
Why, it's April, my friend from Stark. Have you come to visit us again?
Ah, dang it! I was doing it again.
So it appears. I didn't exactly come here by choice this time, though.
It's hard not to reference that meme. It really
How
is.
so, if I may ask?
In a weird and twisted way, it's nothing out of what's become the substitute for ordinary in my life. One second I was in my room in Newport. The next, I was in a dark alley in Marcuria.
You must have opened a shift while you were sleeping. Good. This means you are learning to harness your magic.
Yeah, I guess, except I don't think I'll be able to get back home again. And this time, my mentor, Cortez, has no idea that I'm here.
Ah, but I'm sure you will find a way to channel and control your power soon. In the meantime,
Yeah, give me some
is there
more.
anything I can do to help?
Give me a lore dump.
I need help getting back home.
A lore dump.
Unfortunately, I'm in no better state today to help you shift than I was the day before yesterday. You are the one with the talent, and so you must learn to use that talent.
I need to locate the disc that unlocks the Guardian's tower.
The disc that is the key? Yes, it is needed. It might even restore balance, provided the new Guardian accompanies it to the tower, of course. But you wish to find the disc yourself?
Yeah, that
I
is
have
interesting.
to.
I mean, sometimes that's just how
Cliché
people
or
can do it,
not,
honestly.
It's our only
Which
hope.
is fine, and I would agree. I think that April's
You
voice
do
actress
this
does a very
often,
good job.
You know, save world?
Was she in Dreamfall out of curiosity,
It's
Star?
an expression. Heroism in my world is more of a cliché than anything else.
I do not understand.
Unfortunately,
But
Dreamfall is
then
not
I'm
nearly as
merely
good.
a servant of the
Neither
balance,
is
while
Dreamfall's.
you are more. But yes, the disc. As I told you once before, when the Earth was divided, and the realm of the Guardian created, a disc was forged in the Well of Making. The disc was
Okay.
to serve 2 purposes. As a key to the Tower of Balance should it become necessary to enter it in the Guardian's absence. And as a replacement for the disc that is already in the tower should it be broken. The tower is now abandoned and locked, and the old disc
I wonder if she ever
shattered.
goes to, like, gaming cons, because I do have a
think the
box
time
copy of
is
The
right
Longest
for the
Journey
second disc to be
still.
brought forward.
I'm actually using the disc. After this is done, I'll go ahead and grab the copy real quickly, just so I can show you where it is. The disc is in the computer at the moment, so I can't show you that, but... I don't think I have the Longest Journey cart or CD case anymore. That's the downside. I've kept it all these years in a like multimedia thing, so it's like it was a pretty. I think this was the second release, if I remember correctly. There was like 2 releases. I think that the second release got a little bit cheaper of a run, so I think it didn't have quite as much in it, if I remember correctly. But I don't know that for sure. Anyways, yeah, I was gonna say, if she ever shows up at a gaming convention, give me a second, I want to look up who she is. Like, if I can find her, the actress's name, and then look up gaming conventions, I can, you know. Voiced by, let's see, Sarah Hamilton. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, look like Sarah Hamilton, who doesn't seem like she's, as you said, done anything else. Just kind of curious now, because it's like looking over everything real quickly. The difference, Sarah Hamilton. Oh, she's okay. Looks like in 2014 she needed a little bit of money. I hope that she's doing okay now. Yeah, the last time I see anything really mentioning her, it's that she needed a little bit of money for a spine surgery, which is entirely fair. That makes sense. I don't see anything else after that, really. Let's see. Gaming convention. Still curious if she's ever showed up for a gaming convention. Yeah, I do hope that she is doing okay now. I do mean that sincerely. Because it's like, why wouldn't I? Oh, apparently she might have actually been in This Is the Police 2 as well. Interesting. Okay. It does look like she's been in like one other thing video game wise. Supposedly she's in Gran Turismo? Interesting, okay. Fascinating. But yeah, it's like, not sure. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop getting distracted now because it's like I've done enough looking into this. It's like, I'll have to keep an eye out. Yeah, MS. It looks like you're correct. Yeah, she's gonna be in the new. Oh yeah, in the new Gran Turismo. Exactly as you just said. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, little activity outside of that. Okay, let's go ahead and. Do I have a video playing or something? It looks like it's still showing desktop audio, but I don't know why it would. Maybe it's still just picking it up. One hit one. Yeah, I mean, listen, if that's all she wants to do, then that's fine. I do hope that she's doing okay, because it's like, as you said, she has MS, so
Where is the disc now?
At first, more than 12,000 years ago, it was kept in the open, at the Sentinel Enclave outside Marcuria. However, when thieves attempted to make away with the disc, it was taken away.
Why?
So that the 4 parts of the disc could be divided amongst 4 of the magical people of Arcadia.
I mean, heck, as far as I'm aware, the voice actress originally for Bayonetta, she only did Bayonetta 1 and 2, and now she didn't come back for 3, which was fair. It seemed like she was done with Bayonetta, which is entirely fine. I just wish she would have said, listen, I didn't come back for Bayonetta 3 because I was done with Bayonetta instead of everything else that happened.
What people were the disc divided amongst?
This I cannot tell you. I am not sure anyone remembers now. But it would be in the scriptures, I am certain.
What scriptures?
Yeah.
The scriptures of the balance. There are 13 of them. 13 is a strong number, rich in tradition, and... Did you know the Irede High Council consists of 13 ministers? No, of course you don't. 13 was also the number of the fathers who begat the Sentinel, and who built the Tower of Balance.
Why do I feel like 13's imported in Catholicism too? I know 7 is.
Where can I find the scriptures of the balance?
Pay a visit to the Sentinel
Maybe I'm just going
Enclave,
crazy.
located outside the city to the east.
Entirely possible. Not the first time I've
The
been
great
crazy.
library of the Enclave contains every book ever written by an Arcadian minstrel, and most others as well. Speak with Minstrom Yerin, the keeper of books. Tell him I sent you.
I need to find the entrance to the Guardian's realm.
There is one.
Yeah, I mean,
You are
13
right in
apostles,
that,
like I
but
say, I know
where,
that technically
I would not venture to guess.
that would
In the
probably
past,
make the most sense, honestly.
When the time came for the Guardian to step down and another to take his or her place, the Guardian opened a gateway wherever it was needed. A Guardian, still in full control of the balance, can invite anyone in and let anyone out. But with the Guardian gone, the only way in would be the point where the divide was first created, where the tower was built.
Isn't that location written down somewhere?
Remember that this was done on the old Earth before the divide. After the divide, after the creation of Stark and Arcadia, places were shifted about. This entrance may not even be on the ground anymore.
What do you mean?
It could be up there, in the sky, or far below us, through the crust of the Earth into the molten depths below. I cannot say, and I do not know anyone who could.
Sounds a good start. You go enjoy your exercise. Thank you for being here. God bless.
Isn't there any way to locate the entrance to the Guardian's realm?
Perhaps with careful investigation of the old texts, histories of Arcadia, of the Divide, the scriptures. I do not know, April, but it cannot hurt to look. Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel Enclave. Speak with Minstrom Yerin.
I need to locate the 2 dragons that reside in Arcadia.
The Drykin?
What's the difference?
Yeah, them.
Dragons is a word from your world. The kin are not what they have become in your legends and fairy tales.
But they're real, aren't they?
Oh, as real as you and me, April. And
Oh, very
old.
much so.
They have been here since before our time. As you probably remember, the kin were instrumental in the Divide, saving mankind from a terrible end. But I know so little. Only what I can remember from my studies when I was a minstrel at the Enclave.
How can I get more information on the Drykin?
A library, let me
Books,
guess.
daughter, books. The
Yep.
wisdom of the
Yep.
ages.
Which is fair.
There is one tome you should study, called The Secrets of the Drykin, by Minstrom Elniak.
But listen, at least they give
It is
you
old but
one
informative,
location for
and
all
it
these 3
captures the
side quests. Oh,
imagination.
I appreciate it.
Where can I find this book?
Again, you will find these texts at the Sentinel Enclave. Speak with Mr.
Books.
Nierin.
Books! That would be a good reaction, actually. I should go ahead and get that for the soundboard. It's a really good idea, actually. There's like 2 things I need to get for the soundboard. There's a couple things. That, I want to get a sound clip of Mavra from Dresden Files going, Wizard! Wizard! I think that would be
Good to
fun,
know I could
honestly.
help
Not
you, April.
useful very often, but useful on occasion. I gotta see if I can listen to Audible on my computer. If I can, that should make it a bit easier, actually, because as long as I can listen on my computer, I can just go ahead and record it. I don't know if Audible does let you do that, though. Okay, so this one's new. That's fine. I do want to try one more thing. Let's try talking to this guy real quickly.
Hello.
Hello.
Bye.
I was hoping we might be able to talk to him so he could tell us where the person that we're looking for is. But maybe the old sailor can. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor?
Hello again, old man.
It be you.
It be me! Early in the morning.
I'd love to hear some more maritime stories.
Sure, sweetie, I be happy to. What story you be wanting to hear now?
Any tale of your exciting adventures will do.
You want more? Damn be me wooden left ankle. I be having a great old tale to tell yous about how I be coming to have me wooden pecker. It all began...
You know what? See you later.
if I not be dead.
Okay, so it doesn't look like I can go ahead and get what I want from him about that yet. Just 2 more places. I'm still hoping that we can. I'm almost positive we need to get Crow, but I don't think we need to get Crow yet. I don't think we need Crow until we actually exit the city, which is still a little bit of ways, because we don't know why we would exit the city at this point, so okay, fair enough. Those are some very nice boats, though. You know, I wouldn't want a remake of The Longest Journey. I wouldn't mind a remaster, because that might be interesting.
It's a flower bed. There's plenty of room for more seeds to be planted in there.
Alright, let's go ahead and plant something then.
I'm not very good at this, but hey, I was born on a farm. That's gotta count for something.
Sure.
Now, grow. Whoa, I must be a natural-born gardener.
That's how you
Strangest
get the Book
thing,
of Secrets.
I thought I heard a voice say something about a book of secrets. That the book of
One of the
secrets
ways
is
you get it.
now open. Something like that. Huh.
Yeah, as April just said, the Book of Secrets is now open. I don't think we can access it this way.
I've managed to hold on to my diary this far. It's a flower bed. That's one mother of a plant. I wonder if it's a carnivore. It looks to have been carved out of a large tree, but the texture of the house is more stone than bark. Anything
else for us to... look over? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So let's go ahead, head on in, knock on the door, boldly, and then not Banjo-Kazooie.
Enter, honored guest, and I would have been with you presently.
Some of them look to be in English, but I know they're not. It's the Altung language Tobias told me about. The tongue of magic. Sounds a little disgusting, to be honest. Ruminations on the Chaos Principle by Roar
I agree
Augustandra.
with that. Plus, a remaster might help with some of the missing textures here and there.
Be welcomed, stranger, to my abode.
Stranger? Don't you remember me? You invited me here.
Every moment we meet, and every moment we part. You are both stranger and friend, April Ryan.
I'm sorry, but could you try to be a little less obtuse this time? I have a hard time understanding half of what you say.
I will
It
beg
is a little
for
hard.
your forgiveness, April Ryan. I had a hard time to make myself understood amongst other peoples. I will pull myself into this moment, difficult as it may be, so that we can communicate and so that you may understand. It is important that you understand, April Ryan, very important.
Who are you?
I am Abnaxus of the Venar, ambassador to the Ireed Council in Marcuria. My people live far from here, and they do rarely visit your kind, and so I am their sole link to humans and Dolmari.
Why is that?
I alone among the Venar am able to focus on a particular moment and thread in time, and so to speak with those who flow with time, like you.
How do your people perceive time?
It is hard to explain. Any moment before this moment and any moment after is the same to me as this one. I have lived already, and I am yet to live. Do you understand me?
I think so, but how's that possible?
Everything is possible, April Ryan. There is magic, and there is science, and between the two, everything is possible.
Everything is possible.
Can you see the future?
To me, every moment is the same. There is no future. I can relate moments you have yet to see, and I can unravel possible threads. But remember, the future I see may not be the one into which you walk. Moments and threads fluctuate, change. I can remember things that have never come to pass, and I have seen things that will never be.
So you can't tell the future.
I would see your possible futures, the likely threads among hundreds. If there was not a veil in time, I would.
What's this veil you keep
Keep
talking
coming.
about?
Somewhere ahead, in our path, there is a dark veil through which I cannot pass. Past which I cannot see. It is disconcerting to me to be blocked from the moments of my life.
How did this veil come to be?
It was, no, will be created in chaos, by chaos, to keep the future hidden. All threads converge on a single point here, beyond the veil, and this will happen only once. It is written.
Written? Where?
In the prophecies.
Tell me about the prophecies.
Words have been written by seers who can discern from all
Pardon me.
possible threads the threads that are certain to be woven. These words are the prophecies.
And what do the prophecies say?
Prophecies speak of a time when the balance will falter, weakened by the assault of chaos and its servants. The moment the veil falls is the moment of uncertainty. The balance may stand, the balance may fall. I cannot tell which it will be, and I cannot even see the possibilities, the threads extending from each fork. But the prophecies also speak of a Savior, as the prophecies usually do, one who will bring order to chaos, only to release chaos on the innocent, one who will restore the balance, only to finally break it.
That doesn't sound like a savior.
The word in my tongue is Kanang-la. Literally translated, it means the small seed who grew to a tall tree.
I need some help in my quest.
Yes, you did.
I did? And what did you answer?
That I will help you as much as I can, but in the end...
I'm on my own. I've heard that one before.
Doesn't even matter. Come so far. Do 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 do.
What do you know about dragons?
I do not know much about the kin, but I do know a little. Perhaps it will help you, perhaps not. The Draic kin came to this world a very, very long time ago, before the dawn of man, before the divide. The Venar had yet to learn to be outside time, and there were few other peoples on Earth. The kin played an important part in the divide, in separating magic from science, and in the founding of the Fathers, the Sentinel, to watch over the balance. It is said that after the divide of the 4 Draic kin that came to Earth, 2 went to Stark, and 2 to Arcadia. But that was a long time ago, 12,000 of your years. I do not know what has become of them since.
Still, it helps enough.
You don't know where I may find these Draikin?
No, the white of the Draikin, the mother, has, according to legend, been sighted. The tale of the silver spear of Gorimon speaks of the mother and her child. Though I think this is but a tale, and far from the truth.
The story is called The Silver Spear of Gorimon?
Yes, unfortunately I do not have this book myself, and I do not know of anyone who does.
Well, I might.
What about the other dragon, the other Draikin?
Of the Draikin, I only know of the mother, the white of the kin, although I have heard tell of a god who fell from the sky into the ocean a great long time ago. But this may also be just a tale.
What else do you know about this god who fell from the sky?
Only what I have told you. Someone with greater knowledge of the ocean and the creatures that live beneath its surface may be able to tell you more.
Fair enough. Reasonable.
Have you heard of a disc that works as a key to the Guardian's realm?
Yes, but very little. It has been spoken of in the I Read Council only recently, brought to attention by the Tyrant Ambassador. He wished to know where it is kept.
And what was the answer?
No one at the council knows or admitted to knowing, and the ambassador was asked to speak with the Sentinel, which he is unlikely to concede to. The Tyrant are allied with the Vanguard, and so are in political and ideological opposition with the Sentinel. I know Vestrum Tobias. He would not speak a word with the Tyren, nor the Vanguard. Not unless it was to challenge their philosophies.
So you don't know where I can find the disc?
No. Ask Vestrum Tobias.
What we've done.
Do you know anything about a rift leading to the Guardian's realm?
I have heard speak of such a thing. I believe it was where the tower was built and the divide created. When the earth was one, it might still be open.
Any idea where it is?
I am afraid the Venar were never very involved in the affairs of the Sentinel, nor took any part in the divide except to agree to the necessity of it. We had little choice but to concede. We are a magical people. We need the balance, because we could not survive without magic.
How would I go about fighting chaos?
You cannot fight chaos. It is not so simple. To oppose chaos, one must return order to that which has been affected by chaos, and thus reduce its powers. But this is not something everyone can do. Only those ordained by the balance can embark on such a dangerous task and survive.
That's about it for now.
Pardon me.
I am glad I could be of assistance, April Ryan.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
No? I don't know. Could you repeat the question?
Could you tell me a little bit about yourself, Abnaxus?
Me? About myself? We, the Venar, are not good at speaking of ourselves. We always know who we are, and so we have no need to tell each other.
Well, are you married? Do you have kids? Or perhaps your people don't marry?
Yes, we do marry, and we always know who we are to be with, because our future is also our past, and so we also know our children, even though, according to your reckoning, they have yet to be born. My wife was,
That would also mean they would know when they need to conceive.
the beautiful Abyanda. She lives by the Bay of Fire in the east. She gave birth to our 3 female children, Abratha, Abalexa, Abpalmana.
How long has it been since you last saw them?
I see them
Years.
now, April Ryan. Do not forget I perceive time in a different manner from your kind. I have given them your regards.
But if I didn't want to get them my regards?
Say hi to them for me.
That's a better answer.
Why did you come here to Marcuria?
I was chosen to be ambassador to Ireed when I showed a talent for seeing the flow of time from one point to the next. I was trained for a long time in locking myself into a single moment to communicate and understand your world. My people do not normally involve themselves with others, but the Veil has forced us to do so.
Why don't the Venar want to involve themselves with humans?
In the wrong hands, our knowledge is dangerous. To know of the possible fluctuating futures, this can be a weapon to some who flow with time. We cannot interfere with your time. We are not allowed.
Who says?
The balance. The Guardian. The Guardian watches not only the balance between worlds, but also the balance within. Time is in balance, and if this balance is upset, the Guardian would know.
I thought the Guardian was gone.
So he is, and that makes it even more crucial to my people that we preserve the balance and not upset it. Chaos is our enemy, April Ryan, and we do our part to keep it at bay. as do you.
I do want to check one thing while I'm thinking about it. I apologize. Alright. Sorry, want to check one quick thing. Okay.
Are you planning on ever going back to your people?
When we pass through the veil to the other side and time yet again opens up, I will return to my people. I look forward to that day. I miss my people, and it is hard to speak with your kind. It makes me tired.
Fair enough.
I know what you
Understandable.
mean. I'm a stranger here too.
You will bring us through the veil, April Ryan, and then we can both leave this place and go home.
Where is your home, Abnaxis?
Across the border mountains and north, to where the forests are evergreen, and where in winter the land turns white.
Do you know Father Tobias?
Tobias is a faithful servant of the balance, and he is a good man. He leads the sentinel down a narrow path, but he never wavers. We are friends.
So, I can trust him?
Trust is a concept which often puzzles me. Amongst my people there is never distrust. We always know the truth. But amongst your people, amongst those who flow with time, trust is important.
Amongst us.
A fragile thing.
That was a dumb joke.
But yes, I do think Tobias is to be trusted fully. I cannot see beyond the veil, but up to that point there is no thread in which he betrays your trust, April Ryan.
Have you heard of a man named Cortez?
No, I have not. But that does not mean I do not know him. Names are often fleeting, April Ryan.
Fair enough.
He's my...
I don't always remember names myself.
Well, some have called him my mentor, others a nutcase. I'm not sure which it is, but I'm leaning towards the former.
Your mentor? He is a shifter as well?
No, I don't think so. He doesn't travel. Shift between Stark and Arcadia.
I do not see him in my life, April Ryan. I do not know him. Beyond the veil, perhaps, but not before.
Thanks, Abnaxis.
You are always welcome, April Ryan.
Thanks for your hospitality, Abnaxis.
About it.
Goodbye. Blessings of the balance to you, April Ryan. And may your journey have been a long and fruitful one.
Yep. We have everything we need at the moment. We'll head out. Up.
It's Audrey's long-lost cousin.
I don't think there's anything I can do with that. It doesn't work. You have a place we should be heading anyways, because we got plenty of information as to a possibility of where to go. Not that way.
It's a stone dragon gazing down into the center of the dome like it's guarding the entrance. It's a magnificent piece of work.
Go there in a second. Yeah, a lot of strange invitations in my life. Only a month ago, somebody I didn't even know, the guy particularly well, invited. Oh, we did talk about how that was very sad and not good, obviously. Let's see. Monday. I have no concept of what the Arcadian or Mercurian calendar is like, but at home it would be July 31st. Come to think of it, what year is it here? Anyway, that's not really the reason I'm writing on an entry in my diary. Tobias told me about a library where I may be able to find some answers. The library is at the Sentinel Enclave, just outside, just down the road, and I'm supposed to speak with a ministrum named Urine. He's the keeper of books or something like that, which probably translates into the equivalent of a librarian. When I asked Naxos about the Drakekin, he didn't really know much about them except for a story he'd heard about a god who fell from the stars into the ocean a long time ago. Whoever this so-called god may be, it's a fair chance it's got something to do with these dragonkin creatures. Might be a good idea to run this by somebody who knows more about the myths and legends of the sea. So we might need to talk to down there. Now
the dragon's mouth is pointing straight down at the middle of the floor. It's a circular hollow about 20 centimeters across and about 5 centimeters deep. It's a small recess about the size of my fist with a thin duct extending from the recess to the circular hollow in the middle of the floor. There are 3 others just like it, arranged with equal distance to each other in a circle and all connected via a duct to the center of the floor.
This is in fact a puzzle unsolvable at the current time, if memory serves. Which is entirely fair. I don't think we can go down there at the moment, but we can go... So we can.
It's one of the Sentinel Minstrum.
Hello, sir.
Oh, goodness me, I didn't hear you come in. By the way, you haven't seen Volume 6 of the Complete Annotated History of the Northlands, have you? I could have sworn it was here yesterday.
Sorry, no.
I guess someone else must have taken it. I try to tell them to write down what they borrow on the list, but they never listen. Only last week I spent 3 hours searching the entire enclave for the second scripture of the ballads, the scripture of song, before I realized that Vestrum Tobias was studying it back in the city. Now, such incidents could be avoided if only, and this applies to you too, young lady, people would sign out the books they borrow when they borrow them and sign them back in when they're done. Such a simple procedure. It shouldn't take more than a few seconds to jot down your name and the name of the book you borrow. It makes my job so much easier. Now, which book did you want me to find for you?
Many books.
Are you Minstrum Yaren?
Yes, of course. What a silly question.
I mean, how is it a silly question if I don't know?
You.
I am Minstrum Yaren, keeper of the great library of Mercuria. In fact, this is the greatest library of all the Northlands. Perhaps of the entire world. Although they say the Dark People have a library as big, if not bigger, than this one.
What do you mean by the Dark People?
But of course, we're not allowed anywhere near there. Have you been there?
I don't think...
What a silly question. Of course you haven't. You're not of the Dark People, are you? You don't look like any Dark People I've ever seen, so I can't see how
What do you mean by
possibly...
that?
Now, where did Volume 6 disappear to?
Tobias said I should talk with you.
Tobias? Vestrum Tobias? I haven't seen him for... Well, he was in last week, but before that it must have been days at least. How is he? Still eating enough for 2 mules?
Probably.
I must tell you a funny story I heard the other day of how Vestrum Tobias eats enough for a table full of minstrum. Or was it 1 Elguan? Although the Elguan don't, as a rule, eat very much at all. Did you know that the Elguan can smell water more than half a day's journey away? Amazing, amazing creatures, perfectly suited for life in the desert. The balance provides, that's for certain. The balance provides.
Vestrum Tobias recommended that I look at some books.
Books is what we do best here at the Enclave, that is for certain. Which book would you like to see?
Pardon me. About 4 books at the moment.
I'm looking for a story called The Silver Spear of Gorimon.
Yes, a fanciful tale if I ever saw one, but a charming one. Did you know that I'm often paid visit by adventurers wishing to read everything available on the spear so that they too can set out on their foolish quests?
Yeah, really? Don't you just hate those adventurers?
Oh, they're fun.
Well, they pay for my bread, milk, and butter with their contributions to the coffers, so I shouldn't be too critical of them. But they care not about the books. They care only about what the books can give them.
I care. About the books, really?
I can tell. So, the Silver Spear of Gorimon, then?
Please. Now we have to wait a year. Let's get the book. I couldn't remember if we had to go walk over to him. But no, he does in fact bring it back for us. Might only bring it up to there, so I might have to click on that.
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
I appreciate it. Go read the book, get some information.
I look like a serving maid. I look...
Yeah, but I want you to read the book. Let's see. One exit. Oh, right there, okay. The Silver Spear of Gorimon. In the glory days of Beksheva, before the drought, when Gorimon was the greatest city in the known world, the Perek of Beksheva decided to forge the most powerful weapon in the world to challenge the mighty White Dragon. The Perek had grown greedy and bored, his treasure hold filled with the riches of the world. He desired nothing except the one thing he could never have, the unborn daughter of the White Dragon, the fairest, purest, most beautiful creature in the universe. He had asked the White Dragon for her daughter's hand in marriage, but she had refused, scolding him for his insolence and warning him to keep his distance from immortals. And so the Perek sought the advice of a mighty sorcerer, the dark and cruel Eos, to learn how to kill one of the Drea kin. The sorcerer told the Perek of the white silver of Mount Tyranny, the strongest substance in Arcadia, and how it could be forged by magic to kill even one of the kin. The Perek ordered his army to go north, across the ocean, and bring back enough white silver to shape a weapon. When returned with the rarest metal, the Perek ordered the finest blacksmith in Beksheva to his castle, where Eos, the sorcerer, cast a spell to create an unholy forge. 10 days and 10 nights it took before the exhausted blacksmith could present a tall spear to his emperor. But before the spear could be used to kill one of the kin, it had to be bathed in blood. Beheading the poor blacksmith and the soldiers who had retrieved the white silver from Mount Tyranny, the Perek's private bath was filled with their blood. As he dropped the silver spear into the red bath washed over by Eos, a terrible scream erupted, and steam arose up in a red, foul-smelling cloud. When the steam lifted, the blood was all gone, and the spear was glowing in a deep red color. With the terrible weapon now ready to be wielded, the Perek issued a challenge to the White Dragon, to either surrender her daughter to him for marriage, or to suffer a painful death at his hand. Enraged, the White Dragon refused him yet again, and flew to meet the Perek, his sorcerer, and his 1,000-strong army, in the green fields outside Gorimon. Of the magical silver spear, she knew nothing, and the Peric kept it wrapped in a cloth by his side. Bring your forces around, Peric, warned the White Dragon. If you do not, I will lay waste to them all. I wish my men no harm, lied the Peric, for this is between the two of us. Then rode forward, alone, and dismounted his horse, but stayed within reach of the spear. The White Dragon leaned before him, and she said, You are brave to face me like this when you know you cannot harm me. Then the Peric raised a hand, as if to greet her, but was instead a sign to a sorcerer, the terrible Eos, who casted a mighty spell to hold the White Dragon. While the Peric drew his silver spear, the White Dragon fought bravely, and she was close to escaping the sorcerer's magic. But the Peric was quick, and he thrust the magic spear into her chest. She screamed in pain and anger, and the sorcerer's spell could no longer hold her. Rising on her beautiful wings, blood pouring down on the land below, she cursed Baksheva, her Peric, and her people, for all time. Wherever the White Dragon's blood fell, the land turned arid, and grass became sand. The Peric sent his army to follow the White Dragon to bring back her egg, but the drought grew, and within days, the once proud empire of Baksheva was turned into a desert. Then followed a fierce storm that tore across the land for 100 days and nights, and when the dust settled, there was nothing left of Baksheva but 2 coastal cities and a few scattered oases. It is said that in the buried ruins of a lost capital, wrapped in the arms of the Peric, who dared test the immortal, rests the silver spear of
Are you done? Let me take that back for you.
Doesn't help too much to find it, but maybe a little bit. Just store that book there.
Oh, goodness.
Why do you keep scaring him, April?
Oh, you gave me such a fright.
Why you always scaring?
Can I see some more
Stop
books?
heckin' scaring.
Oh, certainly. What a silly question.
It is a little bit of a silly question. This is a library.
A book on the history of Marcuria would be interesting.
Ah, an extensive subject, to be sure. I will do my best.
Ooh, Oh, that felt
I
great,
did find
actually.
something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
I appreciate it, thank you. As I say, there is another
I look
person
like
we
a
do need to
serving
talk to.
maid.
Yeah, go to the book, though. Travels in the Northlands by Travels in the Northlands by Jemian the Discoverer, the first part. In my many years as a traveling poet and bard, I have journeyed far and wide across the fair realm of Arcadia. Arcadia? Arcadia. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be Arcadia. And I have seen sights most people have not dreamed. I have stood on the magnificent and terrible southern capes in the midst of winter, when the storms are at their fiercest. While waves as tall as the towers of Altaban washed over my frozen body, I have witnessed the monstrous beasts that lurk in those dark and deadly waters of the south, swallow brave galleons whole. Creatures the size of mountains that with a flick of a tail can reach the depths of the sea, the stars themselves. I have crossed the great ocean from north to south and from east to west, and of course been stranded on desert islands with no sustenance but what I could gather from the sparse vegetation. For months at a time, I have ridden the giant Elguan across Chiangagrio, a wasteland, from Altaban to Monturba, and further south, where the Turek, the oases, are few and far between. I've seen the shifting dunes above the ruins of Gorimon, precious jewel of the Bakshavan Empire, concealed for centuries by the coarse and treacherous sand. I have journeyed far west, carried on goodwill and destiny by shadow ships, to the strange and unknown cliffs of a world unseen by most, a world of an unfamiliar tongue and customs, a world of great wonder and mysticism. I have seen all this and more, but the fairest sights still I have seen in the land of the north, from Arid to the border mountains, from Tyron to the Bay of Fire. No sight can ever compare to dawn at Mount Tyranny. Looking out to the plains of Nedra, where wild stallions run free in the thousands. Look on the city of Coruscant? The Pearl of Fire. While the boiling sun sets in the ocean beyond, slow waves reflecting dark yellow and red as they lap slowly upon the sandy shores is an experience truly treasured and never forgotten. These lands are blessed by the Creator, shaped by men, yet wild and free and fertile. Home to the greatest cities, the most precious sights, and the most cultured and civilized people in Arcadia. Of all the fires I have rested my weary legs by, of all the taverns where I have learned the legends of tale spinners, and memorized the songs of bards, of all the lands where I have wandered from city to village, it is to the Northlands. I return time and time again to learn ever more. Join me now, for I will evoke in you the very emotions I first experienced when visiting the sights and treasures of the Northern lands. Join me, and I will surely bring you there, the exotic mist of this blessed land, and you will pine for its rugged coast and green woods and its hardy people, and like me, you will never rest until you can return to yonder shores. Marcuria. O Marcuria, thou unkempt diamond of capitals, thou art by truth the fairest. Thy counsel many seek, for knowledge kept within its centuries sought and gathered, by men wiser than the ages brought hither. By word of mouth, Marcuria, changed thou not the course of war. Between thine people, diplomat, wise man, magician, all this and more, thou hast without equal a mark of merit and virtue. Written by Gemion. Berthrin, the poet. The august capital of Arid, the unified country, Marcuria lies on the hardy southern I can't read apparently. Southern coast of the Northlands, halfway between Tyrone and Coruscant. It is a port of call for merchants, traders, adventurers, and pilgrims from all four continents. A place of commerce and diplomacy for millions of humans and other species. Irid is a strong and proud land perched between the plains of Nadra to the north, the land of the Tyrant to the west, the Great Sea to the south, and the forest of the Northlands to the east. Inhabited by humans, Dolmari, Tyran, Mole People, and Veneer. Irid was formed after Marcuria emerged as a major center for diplomacy and trade. It became a banner under which the surrounding lands united as one. Irid is a democracy, currently led by the Chief Council of the Irid Flag, Lord Dugram Dellin. The High Council, composed of the ministers who govern by representation, resides in the Marcurian Hall of Assembly, flanked by the palace and the barracks. The Idisi are traditionalists, and their form of government has barely changed over the last few millennia. In High Tongue, Irid means unification or assembly. Arcadia is one of the largest cities of Arcadia, the capital of Irid, but not very well. And a center for trade, diplomacy, and cultural diversity, populated by a large variety of races, from human to Venar. Arcadia has grown from its origins as the birthplace of humanity to a city of all Arcadians, the hub of the civilized world. Founded 20,000 years ago at the shore of the then unconquerable ocean, it is the first known permanent settlement of the emerging human race. Initially left to its own devices by more developed races, Marcuria grew large and fat and wealthy. With newfound confidence, it passed through a period of expansion which gained it a reputation as a merciless aggressor, which soon brought violent attention from the Tyrant in the west, the Dalmari in the north. After years of war, Marcuria was decimated and subsequently rebuilt with sufficient reinforcements to weather attacks from both sea and land. Peaceful times followed, whereupon Marcuria settled into the role it has in today's Arcadia. Although all surrounding areas fall under its jurisdiction, there is sufficient self-governing and few central taxes to appease all but the most disgruntled. The huge areas of farmland around the city benefit from the well-kept roads, markets, and the busy export to other lands. Nearby villages benefit from the military might of Marcuria, protecting them against roving barbarians and Tyrene armies. Marcuria also provides the people of the Northlands with one of the best and busiest ports in Arcadia, allowing travel to distant destinations around the world.
Let me take that back for you.
I do like the music that plays while you're reading. I think it's good. It's a good music. Alright, on to another book. Alright, don't scare him this time, April.
Oh, goodness, it's you again. Oh, you gave me such a fright.
April.
Could I see some more books?
Some more books, please?
Oh, certainly. What a silly question.
Yeah, what a silly question. Okay. Not that one. Arcadian folktales. Okay, so folktales.
I'd like to read some Arcadian folktales.
A favored topic of mine. I have just what you're looking for.
I appreciate it, thank you. That was awfully kind of you. Do 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 do.
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
Thank you. Phaedra, the faithful wife. Phaedra was married to a brute of a man named Kara. He was a bully who drank, cursed, gambled, and beat up his wife when he lost coins at the cup stable. Still, Phaedra treated Kara with respect and care. She fed him when he was hungry and made his bed and washed his back, and she lay down with him when he told her to. She never complained of her hardships to anyone, even though some days she woke up with bruises all over her body. About her husband's treatment, Phaedra was a beautiful woman with lovely dark hair and green eyes. Many would admire her when she went to the market for food or the town well for water, but none dared approach her, fearing her dangerous husband, more than they admired her beauty and grace. People would say, poor Phaedra. She deserves better than what she has, and she is so good and patient, even though her husband mistreats her every day. But no one was willing to do anything to free her from her husband, as they all feared his wrath. She chooses her own path, they would say, and it is not our duty to interfere. But one day, a tall and handsome prince rode into town to visit with the elder council. He spotted Phaedra carrying 2 heavy buckets from the wall to her home on the edge of town. He was taken with her beauty and youth, and he jumped down from his horse to help carry her buckets home. On the way, he offered Phaedra courtship, but when told she was already married, he bowed respectfully and excused himself for acting inappropriately. That night, Phaedra's husband heard about the prince helping his wife, and after striking her down for letting royalty interfere with her duties, he strode drunkenly, for he had already had his usual fill of dark ale, towards the tavern where the prince and his cohorts were staying. When Kara arrived at the tavern, the prince was eating dinner, and when told Phaedra's husband was there to see him, the prince stood and waved the man closer. I must congratulate you on your good taste in marriage, said the prince. Your wife is the most beautiful and good-hearted woman I've ever met. And then he offered Kara a seat and a tall mug of ale. The angry husband did not appreciate the prince's advances. He drew his sword and lunged at the prince before his guards could react. The prince was quick and lucky to avoid certain death, and before Kara could make a second strike, the prince had recovered his sword from where it stood by the wall and stood ready to fight the brute. Leave him be, called the prince when his guards drew arms and ran to protect their liege. This is between him and me. Finally, briefly, he nodded his head to Kara and stood to attention. Obviously, his skill with the sword was formidable. Kara, a coward at heart, knew that if he fought fairly, he would surely die, and he sheathed his sword, but loosened the knife he had tucked up his long sleeve. My pardon, Prince, said Kara. My love. Hey, Britt, how are you? That's fair. Yeah, how are you? I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself? How was your Sunday? How was Mass today, is what I'm trying to say. How's your day been? I hope it's been well. Yeah, I had a board game night with my coworkers yesterday, and then we went to my wife's nephew, which I guess would technically be my nephew as well, now that I'm thinking about it. A hockey game on Friday, so I haven't streamed the last 2 days, is what I'm trying to say. Just saying it very poorly. I hope you're doing well with Britt. I appreciate you stopping by, of course. Let's see. My pardon, Prince, said Kara. My love for my wife is such that I am blinded by jealousy. I apologize for not seeing right away. Looking over these books in this game for lore stuff so we can continue on. My pardon, Prince, said Kara. My love for my wife is such that I am blinded by jealousy. I offer you friendship and apologies. He extended an open hand to the prince and smiled a broad lizard smile. The prince, unaware of Kara's mistreatment of his faithful wife, smiled back, put down his sword, and extended his own hand. Your apology is accepted, sir. Then suddenly, Kara's knife was in his hand and moving in a blur towards the prince's exposed throat. Had not been for the quick eye of a nearby... That's fair. I was gonna say, if you need to talk about it, but I know you know this, but I'm always here, so... I'm glad that it was good. Emotionally draining can be good sometimes, too. You'll get to go ahead and let everything out, and then it can go ahead and be a good reset. Reset? Yeah. Can definitely be good, though. I'd like to go on a retreat myself, honestly. Nice! I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I was gonna say, we had a decent enough day here where it was lower 40s, but lower 40s this time of year is actually pretty nice. I just want it back to mid-50s so I can go biking, please. Like, mid-40s is a little too cold still, but mid-50s is pretty nice, where I'll just throw on a pair of sweatpants, a sweater, my gloves, and be good to go. Guard, who with the broadside of his sword struck Kara on the side of his head. The prince would have been dead. The knife carved a deep scar on the prince's shoulder, but did no serious harm. Kara was taken away to the town prison to be judged when the sun rose. His crime was surely punishable by death, especially if Sadra would testify his cruelty in front of the judge. Free of Kara's tyranny, the townspeople now spoke of Sadra's suffering by her husband's hand. But Sadra would not herself, even now, speak against her husband instead of being sentenced to death. Kara was sent away to work the king's mines for 25 years. Taken with her faithfulness, Prince yet again. Give me 1 second, I cannot see because of this cat. But I also want to be nice to this cat. He is an older cat. He deserves... Oh, that's not too bad at all. Congratulations on that, Bert. That's good. Oh, okay, Automod. I can understand this one. I'll shoot. You could be taken out of context. That's entirely fair, Brett. I fully understand. I don't. Yes, I understand what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Taken with her faithfulness, the prince yet again offered Sadra courtship, but again Sadra declined, for she was still a married woman. Then 1 year later, Kara attempted to escape the king's mines by killing 2 guards and climbing the walls. But he shot down with an arrow and died in agony and disgrace. Again, the prince revisited Sadra's town, bringing condolences and renewed offer of courtship, and this time Sadra agreed. Months later, the prince and Sadra were married in a glorious ceremony, and when the old king died, the prince became regent, and Sadra his queen. She was as good a queen as the land had ever seen, and she was loved dearly until the day she died. And her funeral was the grandest and most tearful in memory. Yeah, in this case, it makes sense. Automod, a lot of time, little too overzealous. In that case, it's like, okay, fair enough, Automod. I will give you the benefit of the doubt in this case. But, see, the children of the lake. There was a village by a lake where no couple had borne a child for 20 years. The villagers were desperate. Without children, their village would wither and die, and they turned to their god for help. The next morning, 50 young children rose out of the misty lake and wandered onto the shores, much to the joy of the childless woman. "They're yours," said one of the children, "as long as you remember one thing, you are never to fish from this lake again. Instead, you must learn to hunt in the forest and live off the land." The villagers agreed, though they worried they might go hungry since they were used to catching and eating fish from the lake. But it didn't take long before they had taught themselves to hunt and grow wheat and potatoes in the fields. 18 years passed, and then one day an old man grew tired of rabbits and deer and potatoes and bread, longing to catch a big fish and cook it over a sizzling fire. He took his boat out to where the villagers would not see him, and he sank his line. Almost immediately, he caught a large trout. As he was run back to shore, he saw the children of the lake wander from their homes back into the dark waters from whence they came. Their mothers called for them, tried to hold on to them, begged them not to leave, but they would not speak, and one by one they disappeared into the lake. The old fisherman then saw, as the children sank into the murky waters, that they turned into large fish and sped off into the deep. He was shameful then, and dropped his catch back in the water. But it was too late, and the village would forever remain childless.
Let me take that back for you.
Not anything we particularly are looking for at the moment, but it's still interesting. I don't think this gets us any closer to what we're looking for, but...
Oh,
might be able to still get something.
Goodness, it's you again.
See.
You gave me such a fright.
Could I see some more books?
Oh, certainly.
I'm looking for some information, but I'm not sure which book to ask for.
No matter. I know a great deal about most of the books in here. What topic intrigues you?
I need to find out which 4 magical people of Arcadia were given a piece of the stone disc that serves as the key to the Guardian's realm.
The stone disc of the balance, yes? Yes. There could possibly be something on that in... let me check. Just one moment.
Sure, no problem. It's gonna take 50 years. So this is probably what we need to look for all the time. But admittedly, I do actually appreciate going through everything that they have here. Because obviously, the writers did go ahead and take a lot of time to think this out. And it is honestly interesting, so... I really do love The Longest Journey. So the sequels make me infinitely sad.
I did find something of interest.
I didn't find them particularly
I'll leave it
good,
here for you
as
to
I said
read.
before. I wouldn't say they're awful games. Dreamfall Chapter is probably be my least favorite. Dreamfall had an interesting idea, just kind of... yeah. Chapter 16 in the 8th Scripture, the Scripture of Breaking. Regarding the Disc of the Balance and the events that came about when the disc was broken. The Scriptures tell us that the disc was kept at the Enclave for many thousands of years, safely guarded from any threat by the respect held by every man and woman for the authority of the Fathers. But with dissent came disobedience, and disobedience came... with dissent came disobedience, and disobedience brought immorality, and immorality begot theft. Tyrant soldiers, aided by sentinel traitors, attempted to make away with the disc, but were thwarted by the White of Kin herself, intervening, although forbidden to do so, on behalf of the Fathers. The disc was brought back safely to the Enclave, but the threat would linger in the minds of the Ministrum and the Vestrum, so it became that the disc was melted in the forge of the Dragon's Mouth, shaping the elements of 4 magical people, and given to these respective people for safekeeping, till such a time when it was decreed that the disc should once more be whole. 1 stone to the gentle souls that sing in the dark and shape the earth between their toes. 1 stone to the watchers of the woods, the ones who are outside. 1 stone to the 2 that make one, of air and of sea. 1 stone to the keepers of the dark flame, the eternally dark, the mariners. When the time comes for the disc to be whole again, 1 person will make a journey to the 4, hold the pieces, and the pieces will be given willingly. There will be no doubt to the righteousness of this person.
Let me take that back for you.
One more thing we can ask about, because we do need a little bit more information about the Drakekin, so...
Oh, goodness, it's you again. Oh, you gave me such a fright.
Could I see some...
Oh, sir.
I'm looking...
No.
Not that one, this one.
I'd like to learn more about dragons, about the Dragonkin.
Oh, yes, yes. We have some wonderful books on that topic. Stay here.
Wait right here.
I did find something of interest. I'll leave it here for you to read.
That's right. Yeah, I won't read aloud on stream, Brett. Don't worry about that. I figured that much. I was like, yeah, I can definitely understand all that. That definitely does sound hard. I'm trying to talk about it without going too much into details, because it's like, you don't want me to read on stream, and I'd like to respect your privacy, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, but let's see. Give me 1 second. And I can understand that definitely can be a hard decision, because it's like, if you are called to change jobs, but you don't know where, obviously that part alone can be difficult, and it does look like, as you said, you're talking to a spiritual director at the moment, which is good. I've been doing that myself for about the last year and a half now. That sounds about right. It's been about a year or so. That's fair, Britt, and I'm definitely trying not to. So it's like I'm trying to respect your... I'm trying to respect you. That's what I'm trying to say. And obviously, yeah, that can bring up a lot of feelings, and as you said, it's not bad to feel mad at God sometimes, because it's like, we know that God has a plan for us, but we don't know what it is, and that can be very frustrating sometimes, as long as it's not like Yeah, spiritual direction is really good, honestly. I have a spiritual director and a therapist, and both have been really good, honestly. I've really enjoyed both of them, so I understand that 100%. I do really like my spiritual director as well. And I can understand that financially, finances being stressful is obviously, yeah. I understand that entirely. My wife recently had me go on to a, what did we do? I can understand that in of itself can be hard too, Britt. A weekly amount of money that you get to spend. What is that called again? I am blanking on what that is called at the moment. Budget. A budget. There we go. I was gonna say, I got pretty lucky, because my spiritual director I've gotten along with pretty well, as long as all the therapists I've had, because all my therapists have known that I'm very Catholic, and they've definitely seen... I've told them about a lot of my past history, and how a lot of that has caused a lot of good in my life, because it's like they know about my problems with well, everything. I've talked about it on stream before, but I don't want it to be about me at the moment. If that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that makes sense. So, yeah, I don't want it to be about me. It's like, but yeah, it definitely does help, and it's good to be able to talk to a spiritual director. That way, you can go ahead and bounce ideas off of as well. But it's like, it is obviously meant to draw you closer to God, but sometimes it can be really hard to do that, and I fully admit that entirely. I honestly wish that I could go ahead and visit more often. But they do require a donation for mine. I know not everyone does. So that is one downside. It's like, I'll just say if I think if it's yeah. And I can understand that, Brett. My spiritual director does require a donation, which is a little bit odd, and I now that I'm saying that out loud, Britt, I do realize that. I think technically they just request it is the better way to put it, because like if you can't pay, it's not a problem, but I can go ahead and do that every once in a while. It is still a little bit weird, because it's like, I don't think technically that's meant to be the case, but it's not a priest or a deacon, so that might be the reason why. I am kind of curious about that. Yeah, like, it's not super common, honestly, Britt, and it's like, I don't know why that's a thing in my diocese, because it's like that, I basically have always, you're right, Britt, I've basically always seen that if somebody asks you for a donation for spiritual direction, it's, not a good thing, but I think most people's spiritual directors have been priests or deacons. But I think the one that I meet with does do a good job, and he does try to help, and it's like... That might be the difference, honestly, Britt, and it's like, it is still a little bit weird, though, because as I said, I've... Basically, whenever I've seen anybody else talk about spiritual direction, it's like, if they're asking for money, that's not a good thing, but... As I said, this might be a bit different. But... And yeah, I was gonna say, I have one through Catholic Charities too, and my insurance is not being great about that, unfortunately, where it's like, yeah, you gotta start paying for that now. It's like, oh, cool, thanks, great. My insurance is honestly hot garbage. Which I should probably bring up to my wife. Because she was just saying how we go through her insurance, because the insurance that I have, my job, is even more hot garbage. Like, through me, though, we get better insurance. Like, yeah. Better insurance that doesn't pay for half the things we actually need. Great, good job, thanks. 0 out of 10, would not recommend. Yeah, that's fair. I'm wondering if they were doing that free for us for a while, and... I don't know, it might be because I'm outside of a tax bracket, which is entirely fair, because I did get, I quote-unquote got 2 raises last year. I say quote-unquote because one of the raises I was promised, let's see, the end of 2021. It didn't go into effect until about February or March of 2022. And then I got my second yearly raise last year because I'd been with the job for 2 years as of August. So, like, technically I got 2 raises, but that's because one raise was super delayed. Seek of the Drake Kin by Ministrum Elyak. But yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff that's like, this isn't great. I get on the one hand people need to eat, which is true. That's good. Yeah, I was gonna say, a lot of priests can be like that, and it's like, that is usually the best way to go about it. Not all of them do that, unfortunately. It can be hard, because it's like... Obviously, he can't technically bring up anything in the confessional. I'm just remembering... That might be why it doesn't always happen. I'm just remembering one specific example where my priest specifically was talking with somebody about how he wanted to commit suicide. And he said, all right, I'll go outside. I'll wait for you. I cannot bring this up since you brought this up in the confessional. But if you want to go ahead, I'll be outside here in 5 minutes. We can go ahead and... You mention it. We can go ahead and talk about it and get you some help. And he did go ahead and get him some help because, you know, obviously it's... Yeah. Which is good. It's kind of that hard line. It is that hard line. Secrets of the Drakekin by Ministrum Elyak. Forward. The Drakekin are known by many names throughout the Twin Worlds. In Old Tongue, they are often referred to as Drakekin. In some variations of Low Tongue, Drekken. In the Southlands, the word Dregrek refers specifically to the winged lizard shape traditionally associated with the kin. In Irhad, the internal spirits of the kin are called simply Drak. Regardless of their current shape in Stark, most cultures refer to the kin as Draken, Drake, Drake, Dragone, though this usually refers only to the winged lizard-like shape and not to the spirit inhabiting the shape. In fact, while in Arcadia, the kin are respected and revered as eternal spirits with great significance in the balance and the all. Yeah, that makes sense, Britt. Yeah, exactly. Like, in the confessional, they can bring it up, but it's like, that's about it, because it's like, outside the confessional, then yeah, you have... Exactly. Which is good. In Stark, the kin are mostly creatures of mythology and fairy tales. However, in some Stark legends and scriptures, notably the Christian Bible, the name dragon is associated with the forces of evil, and thus the religious connotations do seem to have carried over in a somewhat distorted form. Okay, then. That's neat. Who or what are the Drakekin? Why not ask who is the greater, or what is the all? Questions thus asked will remain in perpetuity unanswered, for they are in truth unanswerable. To condense all knowledge of the Creator into one answer is futile, as is any attempt to define the all without describing every single element that makes up the all. So also with the Drakekin, we cannot answer, who is this kin? Who is the kin, or what is the kin? But we can provide some answers to the... We do the Oh, what? If you can tell us about that, Britt, why was that out of curiosity? If not, that's entirely fair too. I don't obviously want to force you. Simpler questions. The questions that deal with what we see and hear and feel, and what we have been told by the kin themselves. Answers that together may give us, if only the faintest hint of the whole truth, then at least some indication who or what the Drakekin are. Born of the emptiness between the stars reads the 11th scripture of the balance. The scripture of time, shaped in unison with the all. Part of the all, yet outside the all. Drakekin. Note the ancient high tongue variation of Drakekin. By so many variations and interpretations of the Drakekin from culture to culture. The kin have always been shrouded in mystery, and from mystery rises legend and myth. The kin seem contempt to be seen as nothing but tall tales and figments of a bard's fertile imagination.
Let me take that back for you.
Go look down there real quickly, because why not? Talk to him real quick. There's 2 people I do want to go 3 people I want to go revisit. 4. A couple people I want to revisit. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Could I see some more books?
Oh,
I'm looking for...
I am interested in more...
I know how it is. I forget things all the time. I even forgot my own name once. Couldn't remember it for a whole week, and then someone called for me, and I couldn't find him. Strangest thing.
Actually,
Don't feel like very well, though it is the strangest thing I've heard in a while. How can you not feel like reading?
I'll see you later.
Yes, good.
I can understand that, and that is definitely a big, that can definitely be a big problem, or that can be hard, is what I'm trying to say. It definitely does make sense. I'm glad that he was able to bring that he was able to help you realize that, though, because it's like that can also be something that is hard to realize, honestly. And I recognize that.
The water's pretty cold. It's a pool of seawater. You'd think that it'd be a bad idea to have a pool inside a library on account of the moisture, but I guess magic makes everything possible.
Magic, we must defeat magic, Jackie. Hiya, Jackie.
It's stuck.
Fair enough, that's about what I figured.
It's a rusty wheel.
Okay, so let's go talk to that one guy again. Because he should be the guy we need to talk to about one of the stones, I think. Then there's a couple people we can talk to. Pretty sure you should have one of the things I'm looking for.
Enter, honored guest, and I would have been with you presently.
Yeah. You are still down here?
About my quest.
Anything I can do to help, April Ryan?
I can understand that, yeah, where you're not really able to be yourself. Yeah, that makes sense entirely. You kind of have to bottle it up, so it's like when you're bottling it up, you also unintentionally bottle God up.
So you don't
that
know
makes
where
sense.
I can find the disc?
No. Ask Vestrum Tobias.
That's a...
I am glad I...
Can I ask?
Yes.
Thanks,
You...
I'll talk...
Blessings of...
Maybe he gives it later. He doesn't. Who knows? Not I. Let me see if Phil said anything real quickly. Hold on. Back to here. Right, and I understand that, and it is progress. That's good. I need to go back to Adoration myself, so I will. I'm gonna go back tomorrow. It's been a little bit of time. I have been unintentionally avoiding it. It hasn't been on purpose, but it has been happening. I'm not happy that's been happening.
Are you busy?
I'm never too busy.
A little bit of a glitch there, huh?
What may I assist you with today?
Pardon me.
Where can I...
Again, you will find the...
Isn't...
Perhaps with careful investigation... Again, you will find...
Thank you.
Good day to you.
Okay. I guess we could go to... Dock there, at the dock. Sounds good, Britt. I will definitely keep you in my prayers. You have a good night and God bless. Might be able to tell me.
Hello.
Uh-huh.
Goodbye.
Do you know
never
anything
mind.
about a god that fell from the sky into the sea?
Of course. You find fallen gods most everywhere these days. They're an air and a hand.
Really?
No, of course not. There are no fallen gods in the sea. It wouldn't make much sense, would it? If the sea was full of gods just lying about the seabed.
So you've never heard of such a thing happening?
Now you got it.
Have a good night and sleep,
Bye.
Britt. I did technically, yeah. I didn't say that part specifically. I did want to. I was realizing that. You might have one.
Hello again, old man.
Eh?
The future is now, old man.
It be you.
It's be me. Oh, looks like Phil might be ready. Let me talk to this old guy.
Sure.
Have you heard a story about a god who fell from the sky into the sea?
Aye, that I be having. Although that be a story of man-eating mermen who ravaged the sea of songs, swallowing sailors whole and spitting their bones out to dry. Are you sure you be up for hearing such a cruel tale?
I've heard worse.
Ye be a tough little lady, be you not? All right. Well, like I be telling yous, the sea of song surrounding the island kingdom of Gien be a treacherous sea where countless vessels have disappeared without a trace. Now, this be near 30 long winters ago, mind, during me second term as captain of the trader Lucky Lady. We've been crossing the Sea of Songs for 2 seasons, and we'd yet to be seeing any sign of the dreaded bloodthirsty mermen who lurk in the waters off the Guyenne coast. That night we be laying still with our sails down, awaiting the wind to pick up and carry us north to Mercuria, when we be hearing a frightful scream a-coming from the port side of the Lady Luck. I be the first to rush over on account of me having me arm down the apple barrel. We just been to Arras to pick up 100 barrels of sweet Guyenne apples. And as luck would have it, I be there just in time to witness Sally Barney's horrible fate. He be in the water, screaming and waving his arms, and the water around him be red as a midwife's arms after a grueling birth.
I get the picture. Go on.
Then I glimpse a large, shiny, sleek body be pulling Sally down and swallow him whole. It be the mermen come to claim the body of the sailor who dare across their sea.
Are you sure it wasn't a shark?
What?
Big fish with sharp teeth and dead black eyes and a large triangular fin on top?
Ye mean a black-eyed snapjaw? I guess it could have been, but it be no snapjaw. It be the dreaded merman of the Sea of Songs.
Where does the sea god fit into all of this?
Aye, I be coming to that. You see, the bloodthirsty mermen be not only happy with cannibalizing sailors, but they be sacrificing their own to their dark old sea god.
Actually, unless the mermen are human, they wouldn't really be cannibals if they ate humans.
Blood sacrifices to their dreaded god who lives on the bottom of the sea. Aye, that be the truth of the mermen, fierce and bloodthirsty cannibals of the Sea of Songs.
Thanks. Good story.
Aye.
I'm all...
Aye.
I'd...
Sure.
I'm all...
Aye.
No.
See you...
If I not be dead, aye.
Let's see what the new story technically is. The diary entry. What's with old sailors and long quiet stories? I did manage to get some information on the old man, however. He claims that the god that fell into the sea, the one Epnax told me about, is worshipped by bloodthirsty cannibal mermen from the Sea of Songs around the Isle of Gian. I think that's how it's spelled. The fact that they're not necessarily cannibal just because they eat humans didn't really deter him from finishing his story. Having my doubts about how bloodthirsty these creatures really are as well. I think the monster he described in the story could be some kind of shark instead of a merman. However, the truth, if anybody knows about this guy who fell from the stars, it would be the merman. Back to the big boat.
Hello.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Might be able to get some more information from a book. Well, I think about it. I guess we'll go back to the library. That seems to be where we're going at the moment. Might be ready. I'll go ahead and hop in voice chat since I see him in there. Hey Phil, you ready? You might not be too.
I think so.
You think so? Alright, give me 1 second. Let me jump into this area of the game and then I will be ready myself. How are you doing, Phil? What?
I'm tired.
You're tired. How was Mass today?
Crowded.
Fair. I mean, that's a good thing, actually.
Has been
Yes,
for, I guess, for like 2 years.
Fair.
I'm looking for...
No.
We got a lot of people during, massive lockdown.
I've heard rumors...
Mermen in the Sea of Songs.
Oh, you got a lot of people from the unnamed virus.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, the one that... What was that?
A lot of people say, oh, during COVID, this and that happened, and this happened. I see it more of a during lockdown this happened, because the lockdown, in my opinion, caused more problems than the virus did.
I mean, that is absolutely true. Don't disagree with that, but they don't like to admit that. Absolutely agree with you, Phil. Don't get me wrong. They just don't like to admit that. Hold on.
Sure.
Okay,
but
let me...
I like to remind.
Fair. 1 second. Let me change a couple computer settings and I will be ready to go.